Wilton from Redridge Analog, and welcome to Tone Tips number 3. Today I wanted to talk with you all about the issue of power. Without power, your effects pedals are not much use. The two ways people generally supply power to their effects pedals is through the use of a battery or through the use of an external DC power supply. And there's confusion about the issue of current, which is measured in amperes, and voltage, which is measured in volts. Very handy. So I'd like to have a little chat about that. We're going to use this as an example. It's a little wall supply. What it does is it converts the voltage coming in, which is a high AC voltage, and in this case it can take between 110 and 240 volts AC, and it transforms that into a much lower alternating current voltage, an AC voltage, and then through a rectifier transforms that voltage to a DC, a direct current. And in this case, it transforms the high AC voltage down to 9 volts DC with an available current of 660 milliamps. So any pedal that takes 9 volts and draws up to 660 milliamps is going to be well served by this little adapter. If your pedal takes 9 volts but draws only 100 milliamps, it's going to be fine because this offers up to 660 milliamps. That's how much current is able to flow out of this before it turns to toast. However, if you took a pedal that draws 1000 milliamps and you tried to pull 1000 milliamps from this little reserve, is one way of seeing it, you would see this start to get very hot and very uncomfortable, and it would stop functioning, possibly with smoke and fire. Because of the fact that it's only able to supply 660 milliamps, 1000 milliamps is more than this. A really simple sort of analogy that I like to use is somebody with a very moderate thirst sucking through a straw from a small glass of water, or medium-sized glass of water. And say they get halfway through that glass of water and it's provided enough, it's quenched their thirst. Their thirst, or their current draw, was enough to be sated by that medium-sized glass. Take someone who's really thirsty, comes along, this is the 1000 milliamp guy, and sucks through a straw on that glass, that medium-sized glass, and say there's 500 mils of water in there, and he's got a bigger thirst than 500 mils, well, he will suck all of that, and then you've got a problem. Potentially like that episode of Ren and Stimpy when Stimpy imploded into himself. Maybe not, but you get the idea of what I'm saying. So your voltage has to match the voltage that the pedal supply specifies. So if it's a 9 volt pedal, it wants 9 volts, it needs to say 9 volts DC. And the current on your pedal, if it says anything up to or below the current, the output current availability, then you're fine. If your pedal draws more than the specified output current, you need to get a larger or more powerful power supply to supply that larger current. And this same rule applies to any sort of multi-supply. Voodoo Labs makes some fantastic products. I use Voodoo Labs power supplies on all of my pedal boards, and they have a range of products which offer different current supplies on one little box. So you can have say pedals like a fuzz pedal or a little distortion which might have a low current draw into the low current supplies, and then something which uses a lot of current like a digital pedal of some sort with a processor in it, which might draw 600, 800 milliamps, maybe even 1000 amps perhaps. Depending on what the supply is, you match it up. So, and when this comes to the question of a battery, the current draw is the reason why, for instance, a 9 volt battery will last for a long time in a fuzz pedal, but it will only last a short period of time in, say, a Boss DD3. The reason for this is the current draw from the fuzz pedal is very small, versus the current draw from the Boss DD3 is very high, and so it draws the current out of the battery much more quickly. It's a much higher draw. and so your battery will last a lot longer in a DD3 than it will inside a fuzz pedal. Now, hopefully that provides a little clarification. It doesn't confuse anybody. One of the things which is a real pain is when you are using a pedal board that is running off power supply, external power supply, not batteries, and you strike an issue. Or when you are using a pedal board where you're using batteries and one of them goes flat that you didn't expect it to. However, I have a solution, a little quick fix, which is kind of neat, and it's this device here. And I'm going to show you a series of pictures of how you put it together. It's just remarkably simple. It's just a 2.1mm plug, a 9-volt battery snap, and that's pretty much it. So follow through the little images of how to solder it together, and then I'll explain to you how you use it. So now you've got this little device, here it is, and you attach a 9-volt battery. Now, this device can be used in two situations. First situation is when you are running off a 9-volt battery inside your pedal, and you expected the battery to last an infinitely long time, and it hasn't, for whatever reason, and you're in the middle of a gig, and you're about to launch into the Star Spangled Banner, and you see the LED die, and you click the switch on and off. No joy. You don't have an external power supply either. It's going to take a little time to unscrew the batteries and just chuck a new 9-volt battery in there. Nice and quick solution. You just plug this into the external power supply socket and away you go. Other situation you can use this is if you have an issue with an external power supply. Say the power going through all of your pedals dies for whatever reason, has a failure. Super easy, you disconnect that and you plug this in and save the day. Glorious sonic fuzz glory performing to the masses, and this saves the day, allowing you to express yourself, change people's lives. People go off and get married and have children because the music that night was just that good. Anyway, I hope that's of some help. It's assisted me on at least 2, maybe 3 occasions in 25 years of playing music, but it's good to know it's there. Hopefully the voltage and current stuff has provided some interesting info for you as well. Just simply remember that the voltage on the power supply has to be the same voltage as specified on the pedal, and the current that the pedal draws has to be equivalent to or less than the available current from the power supply. You can't be the pedal cannot specify more current, that it's got a thirst for more current than your power supply can supply, otherwise you need to get a different power supply. Hopefully that's of some use to you. I hope that your day is going exceptionally well, that you are able to play your instrument every day, and it makes your life that much better and those around you. My name is Ben Fulton. Be sure to subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. Have a great day. See you next month for Tone Tips 4.